Hey Cancer, thank you so much for joining us for your February 21st to February 28th reading. We're going to be pulling a bunch of cards here to get an idea of your general energies going into this week, as well as any challenges that you'll be facing, and some advice on how to overcome those challenges. I know that Cancer has been in a position right now where they're kind of taking a step back from leadership right now, or just like putting their energy into different things, basically. And I tried to do this reading once yesterday and it disappeared. I was pretty disheartened. So, because it was a pretty good reading for Cancer. So hopefully this one is about the same. So here, starting in your general energies for this week, we have the Knight of Shells card, which is kind of like a Knight of Pentacles in like the Spirit Song Tarot. And there's talking about charm and passion. So really tapping into two pretty strong energies. And we're starting with the Spirit Song Tarot, because I feel like it establishes all the cards, even like the really negative ones, like the Tower, the Devil card, the Death card. They're all pretty positive in this tarot deck. So I want to start with a pretty positive energy here. So we have here a flamingo, kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, it definitely has the vibe and atmosphere of having like a little bit more charismatic energy going into this week. A little bit of a charm and passion for the things that you're doing, even though you might be taking a step back from some different leadership roles at this moment. Because you're taking some steps back from like a leadership position doesn't mean that you're not wanted anymore. You're able to exert your energy into things that matter a little bit more to you right now, like reinvesting that energy that you're spending on leadership roles, maybe just back into family, for instance. Here in your recent past, we have the Eight of Cups card, which kind of reflects this atmosphere of a Cancer who is walking away from some things right now. And it's not necessarily negative. It's not like you're leaving a really negative situation. It's not like this thing that you're walking away from is like some like big calamity or disaster. If you're walking away from some sort of leadership roles right now, you kind of just know there's some things that you've already done enough, and you know that in like your own heart, and maybe the people in that organization know that as well. They know, okay, Cancer, you've done so much shit for us, you couldn't possibly do anymore. Like, just leave, just go, like move on to your next thing. I think that you're in a position right now where you're able, it's like, okay, you built yourself up so much in one position, now it's time to take the next step forward, which is really positive to see. I think Chi-Chi here also agrees with that. Heading into your future, though, a little bit of uncertainty here with the High Priestess card. Just like a little, I don't know, just like a little bit of, you can't see beyond. Like, you can't see what these next steps are going to be. If you invested a lot of time and energy into certain leadership roles, though, I think that you've kind of already opened doors for yourself. You just don't necessarily see what all these doors that you opened are right now, Cancer. Let's go ahead and draw some cards here. For your area of above and below. So here in your area of above, we have the Two of Wands card, which is a pretty nice card to see. This is kind of like the energy that you're giving out to the world right now, how you're presenting yourself. I think that you're in a position right now where you kind of like the world is in your hands, basically, Cancer. So you've really established yourself as a charismatic kind of leader, some sort of individual who's taken the lead on like a lot of different projects right now. That's been like the theme for all the last readings going into this one. But now there's kind of like a little bit of a shift though. Now you're looking at new horizons. You're seeing what's next for Cancer. You've already done so much in this phase of your life, so now you're able to translate that success and energy and passion, as we had here in the general energies, into something new. Here in your area below, kind of like your subconscious, like what you're thinking. So here in your area below in your subconscious, we have the Two of Cups card. This is just a reminder that you should kind of focus on friendships right now. We have these twos here, and then also with the High Priestess card, we have the two pillars on either side. So I can kind of see that as you like moving from one thing to another thing. You're in between two different phases right now, Cancer. Let's go ahead and pull a card for your advice. We have the Magician, super positive to see and rarely comes up in my readings. And we also have the Five of Pentacles in your area of external factors, which comes up all the time in my readings. So here in your area of advice, we have the Magician card. This is telling you, Cancer, that you're in a really strong position right now because you already have all the tools that you need to manifest something new. Even if you don't know where exactly you're heading, if you don't know what exactly the next step in your journey is, you at least have all the tools that you need. You've spent a lot of time accumulating different skills, different talents, building different connections, and those are going to be like the little tiny things that you can kind of pull together in some weird way, maybe you don't even see how it's going to end up. Like I took I took a really strange journey through my life. Rather than like going straight to college, I decided to leave the country, and it was a pretty bad decision, I think. It was not what I'd recommend everybody do, but I was able to find like a job like doing column writing for a magazine, and then I was able to translate that into different writing opportunities. And then now I'm taking all that writing experience that I have and I'm putting it into my interest in film. So in some weird ways, these little things that we're doing right now can translate into much larger things as we step into the next phase of our life. Here in your area of external factors, though, we have the Five of Pentacles card with two rabbits standing on the outside of like this church or this building here. And I think that you're just feeling as though you're in a position. I think that this is a reminder of kind of like why you're doing all this in the first place. I think that this external factor, there could be something coming into your life right now that kind of just reminds you like, okay, you've spent so much time in the grind here, like really hustling and like building things up for yourself, and then this is just going to serve as a reminder. It kind of like reminds you of why you even began this journey in the first place. So kind of look out for something like that. It could be somebody from your past, or there could be some unresolved past situations that could just kind of re-manifest right now. So be on the lookout for those, but it probably won't be anything too catastrophic. Here in your area of hopes and fears, we have the Ten of Swords card, and a pretty negative card, right? We have the rabbit here impaled by 10 swords, very dramatic, a little overly dramatic too, right? Also, the tens cards are all about completion of a cycle. I think that this is going to be you. Your hopes and fears right now are just kind of caught up in reevaluating your situation and maybe kind of like remembering why you began this journey in the first place. I think that this card here is just telling you that you're going to have to like take a minute to really reflect on like those past things that like moved you forward in this journey, so that you can kind of like prepare yourself mentally for this next step that you're going to take, and you can kind of strategize a little bit more. Here in your area of an outcome, though, we have the Queen of Swords card, which is super positive to see. This is setting boundaries, setting barriers with other people, but also just kind of like, just like really managing and like managing your talent incredibly well. So I'd see like a pretty positive reading here. I think that you're just in a state of transition right now. There's a really strong Cancer going from one position of strength and power and then going to another position of strength and power, but sometimes we're not sure how it's going to translate. But Cancer, that's a super positive reading. And here at the end of the reading, we're going to pull 3 cards for 3 yes, no, or maybe questions. So if you want to pause the video and think of those questions, we're going to pull 1 and 2 and 3. So Cancer, for your first question, we have a maybe. For your second question, I have a yes. And for your last question, I also have a yes. So Cancer, thank you so much for joining us at 3 Rabbit Tarot. We were going to do a 100 subscriber weekly clarification reading. We were going to do a 100 subscriber weekly clarification reading, but I kind of decided that it's almost unnecessary. I think that it would be better if every 100 subscribers we did like a month-long reading. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 100 subscriber March reading for March, which should be out next week if nothing catastrophic happens. So be on the lookout for that, because that's going to establish really the general energies for the whole month, and then you'll be able to watch the weekly videos and kind of like fill things in and get a little bit more details and information. So Cancer, thank you so much for joining us at 3 Rabbit Tarot. Chi-Chi is always here in the exact right spot in camera. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.